Leslie.
Brian Dunleavy, I think, and I can't think of the name of that.
You did a lot with Brian Dunleavy, didn't you?
Well, beginning or the end, and this Western, that's all.
I see. But Westerns, those were the
They
days.
were great fun to do.
Do you ride horses and all that?
I didn't that. I'm not a good rider, but you know, you could fake it. They always put people who are good riders beside you.
Yeah. Tell me about the FBI girl. This is in the 40s. Now, still we're in the 40s.
Was that the end of the 40s,
End
early
of the
50s? I was no longer under contract in Metro. I'd married by that time.
You left, yeah.
And I did do this film with Cesar Romero.
I love him.
And
loved him. Butch.
Yes,
His name was Butch.
Yes. Dated him too.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was a wonderful escort, you know.
He was a gentleman,
Great,
wasn't he?
oh yes, and great dancer, and charming man. And George Brent.
Another elegant man.
An elegant, lovely man, yeah.
George Brent. You're mentioning some elegant men. We don't have them today.
Oh, I think so.
It's a different kind of an elegance.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
Now, let's get
elegance.
back to the 50s now. The Blue Veil and the... Tell me about that.
Oh, well, that was something that I just did it. Curtis Bernhardt
Right.
wanted me to do that. I just did a tiny little scene, and I wasn't particular. I did it for him.
What has been the hardest for Audrey Totter? What has been really the hardest for you in life?
What do you mean? Oh, I guess losing my husband.
Losing your husband has been the hardest? Because you were married so many years.
And it was such a joyous marriage.
You had a wonderful life, did you?
I have.
You have no regrets at all?
None. I
Would
had
you,
a wonderful
looking back-
childhood, and, you know, and
You had a good childhood?
oh yes, my mother and my father, and I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, an extended family, and it was wonderful. And I went, you know, I had a good time.
Looking back,
So
you
I
would
was
do
lucky.
the same way?
Yes.
Really?
I would not change a thing.
Are you spiritual? You seem like you're very spiritual. I mean, you know.
Well, do I believe in a supreme being?
No, just spiritual just means you're very...
I'm
loving,
serene.
serene,
Well,
yeah.
you know, when you reach my age, you get serene. No, but I do believe that indeed there's a supreme being in life after death. I feel my husband around me all the time.
You do?
That's
That's
nice.
That's wonderful, yeah. If you weren't an actor, looking back, if you weren't an actor in Illinois, Joliet, what would you have done?
I have no idea.
Really?
From the time I was a child,
You knew.
I knew I wanted to be an actress.
There are people today, are 30 years old. They don't know what they're doing.
I know.
It's amazing.
But
I can't
that's-
believe that
yeah,
kind of a
well,
person.
Yes, you know, everybody doesn't know. Everybody isn't lucky. I think you're lucky if you know what you want to do right away.
You've had a good time in Hollywood.
Yes, yes, I certainly have. If you believe in reincarnation, and I'm not so sure that I
Right.
do because I don't know anything much about it, I suppose that means people who really know what they want to do were in that profession before.
Do you always like actors?
Oh, yes,
Always?
I've always liked actors,
Yep.
actresses, directors, producers, you know.
Who's some of the favorite directors you liked? Do you have a favorite?
Bob Weiss, I guess,
He was one.
the setup, and of course Montgomery, and he did a very good job, although he was known primarily as an actor.
Robert Montgomery, he was known as an actor, and then he became a great director at the end of his career.
Yes, he did.
And he directed films that you fit right in, because you played mysterious type of ladies, mystery.
Yeah.
I think that came back from the beginning of your career as a radio.
I don't know what happened.
I've always known you as here.
But-
I'm going to show my audience. Look at this picture. Can we see this? Look. I've always noticed you with your lips. You have that lips, and you always say, "Why? Why?" Remember that word, "why"?
Yeah, yeah.
That was your famous word, it seemed to me, Audrey Totter. It's given a lot of joy. Men in the Dark, 1950.
Men in the Dark.
Yeah, do you remember that one? Or Women's Prisons. Tell me about Women's Prisons.
That was
You did a prison
Yeah, that was at Columbia. I was there for 1 year.
at Columbia?
Yeah, that was with
This is in the
Ida
50s
Lupino, Women's Prison. You know, wonderful actress.
This is a
marvelous
great actress. Did you learn anything from her?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
What did you learn?
She was.
Would
She
you
didn't
say?
direct this now. She was
she's
in
a
it.
director, yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
she was acting in this. I don't know, there was something about her that was, she was such a professional. Interestingly enough, she said that when she would sit at LaRue, which was kind of a darkened
Right,
restaurant,
which I loved.
people would always say, "Hello, Audrey," and I had the same thing happen to me. They'd say, "Hello, Ida," and yet we looked at each other and didn't think we looked at all alike.
Not at all.
No. So
They used to thought you were Ida.
yeah, and they thought she was, isn't that funny and strange? You know.
I just interviewed a wonderful Carol Lindley, just Sunday, matter of fact. And we talked about you because you were in the Carpetbaggers with her. She did Carpetbaggers is the Harlow thing?
Yeah.
And you were in the Harlow. What did you play in the Harlow?
Oh,
The mother?
No.
It wasn't the mother.
The ex-wife of
Ex-wife?
somebody.
Uh-huh.
I forget the ones I did.
That was a good film. It was
I guess
about Harlow.
so.
It was for TV, was it?
No,
Was it?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
But
If I didn't
1972, you caught on television and you did Medical Center. Let's talk about a series called Medical Center. Here is the great movie star, Audrey Totter, moving into television. Big series, 1972. You played a nurse. Tell me about that.
Jane Meadows had played it originally, and then she didn't want to do it anymore. And so the producer was a very good friend of mine. And he asked me if I wanted to do it. He said, "It'll fit in with your married life, Audrey, because you won't work very much,
Right.
about once a week."
Right.
And one day, somebody called me the telephone on the set, and it was Jane. She said, "I just want to know how you're enjoying playing your one line," because that's why she left it. So funny.
What is the proudest moment in your life? Do you have a proud moment in your life, Audrey?
I guess when I got married.
You going back to that
Yeah. Well,
lovely marriage, that must
was
have
the
been,
most
you must
important
have
thing in
been
my life.
very much in love. It's wonderful. People don't really find that certain love in life, and you found it.
Yes, I was lucky, so fortunate.
Is your daughter married?
Oh yes, she's married to a dentist. I was married to a physician, so we had everything covered. She has 2 children, a little boy named Noah and a little girl named Maggie.
Are you writing a book at all, Audrey Totter?
No.
Everyone writes books. You're not
I
going to talk about...
What I have to say, I can say in a chapter. You know, I mean...
In a chapter?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell. Nothing bad happened. I don't have any gossip to report, you know. It would be a dull book.
Do you watch television at night and see some of your movies late at night? And
occasionally, and
what do you think when you're seeing yourself on these late films? What do you think? What goes through Audrey Totter's mind?
I sort of remember that period, what it was like, and you know, I had a good time. I enjoyed it.
I think this film, look at this picture. May I show this picture? Look how beautiful. This was a Western film? Absolutely beautiful. You must have been very... See, I always thought of Audrey Totter with this wonderful face, this marvelous lips, the mouth. You've always...
Well, that was then and now is now, all right?
Give me 3 words to describe Audrey Totter. Just give me 3 words.
Very good wife. I think I was. He always told me I was. That was a wonderful thing. Every time I'd cook a dinner, he'd say it was the best meal he'd ever had, and he told me every day I was beautiful. Oh, every woman should have a husband like that.
What does make you happy right now in life?
Being with my grandchildren and my daughter.
That's the most important thing.
And I have very dear friends, too. Very close, dear friends that I see a lot, and so that's nice.
Looking back, you've had some great joys in life, Audrey Totter, and I don't know why you don't want to put it into a book.
Everything I've put in the book I've told you today, there's nothing more.
Really? Did you have good times when you were in high school?
High school?
Yeah, when you were back in Joliet, and you got into the radio, you know.
All the things the small town girls and boys do. You know. So we didn't have limos for proms in those days. We walked to the gymnasium where the prom was.
Some of the films, now looking back, what was your favorite? You must have a favorite of your film.
Well, I was, the setup.
The setup is one of your favorites?
And the Lady in the Lake. And...
Actually, The Lady in the Lake is really about someone you're looking for a killer or something like that, or what is that?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
I think so. I don't remember
you don't remember
too well.
Actually, people do these films and then they forget about it.
Well, I don't ever dwell on the past. I have dwelt on the past a little more since my husband has passed away. But I never dwell on the past or the future. I live in the now. That's why showing these pictures. Please,
it doesn't mean
that's
anything.
Then, now is now.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. Tell me about Judy Garland at the MGM. You must have met her.
Met her, didn't know her at all, no, but she
was one of my favorites.
Oh, yes,
one of
mine, too. Yeah. Very talented young lady.
MGM Studios must have been great those days.
Oh,
the commissary, walking through the lots.
Oh, everybody was there.
Because I remember as a kid, going through 20th Century Fox when they were filming Forever Amber. with Linda Darnell and Cornell Wilde. I was running back and forth to the commissary. I played in that film. I was one of the little,
did you?
little boys. Yes, I was a little 12-year-old kid, I think. I don't remember.
All the actors and actresses of that period were so distinctive.
They were, weren't they?
Nobody looked like anybody else.
They had their own definite style.
Yes.
Frank Sinatra, you met Frank Sinatra. He came back, he was on the lot when you came. You were there
That's
with Frank
right.
Sinatra on the
That's
lot.
right. I never worked with him, but he was always so gracious because Mr. Mayer would give parties and Frank would always sing, you know.
Was he really? He sang at the parties?
Oh, yes.
Really?
He was always so gracious.
Oh, that's great. Under the Gun, tell me about that one. Any number can play? Or?
Any number can play. Those are beginning
It's another mystery.
Things. I think
you've done
so.
a lot of mystery. Why do you think, Audrey Totter, MGM give you a lot?
No, they just cast you in these things. You know, some are good.
Have you
some
done
aren't
any
so
musicals
good.
at all?
No.
You never did a musical.
I can't sing or dance. In Saxon Charm.
Right.
That I did also with Robert Montgomery. I sang, wasn't me singing. You know, and we did a little dance. And I'll never forget. Usually, you sing to the record of the singer.
Right.
But because of all the movement, I had to sing, and the singer had to match me. And I cannot sing at all. So when the scene was over with, Bob Montgomery said, "Ladies and gentlemen," this was the people, the extras sitting there as the audience. He said, "I want to congratulate you. You're the finest actresses and actresses I've ever seen. You never laughed when Audrey Totter sang." Dreadful.
Biggest stars in the movies always were courteous to the extras on the set. Always.
Stars were always...
They're very courteous to all the extras.
To everybody.
To everybody?
And they were very kind to newcomers, helpful.
When newcomers come in? When you were a newcomer on MGM?
Couldn't been. They were all very helpful.
Who was so helpful?
Everybody. Every single...
Do you remember who really stuck in your mind, who really
Well, I suppose Bob Montgomery, you know, but then he was the director.
Right.
But Robert Taylor, Robert Ryan, all of them were always very gracious.
Robert
I'm
Taylor,
sure they are today, too.
I'm sure they are, too. Robert Taylor was married at that time to, you say, Barbara Stanwyck? And what a wonderful guy he was. Lana Turner and him in that great film, Johnny Agar.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite films. But you did a movie that I love, too, boy. I tell you, you've done a lot of great movies. Main Street, After Dark was a good movie, and that was your very first film.
Well, it was all right. It was.
I thought it was a good film. For me, it was. You have a big cult follow. Lovely people out there.
Oh, yes, you're quite right about that. Yes, I
Yeah,
still
tell
get
me.
a lot of fan mail.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I'm getting fan mail from behind the Iron Curtain now.
You
Russia,
are. See?
Hungary,
I told
places
you.
like they're showing the films.
Uh-huh.
And I get a lot from England and Italy, Spain,
Uh-huh.
South America. It's amazing.
Audrey Totter, I told you.
Well, they're seeing the films now on television, you see.
Uh-huh.
So they write and want a picture.
So you've had a good time. You've had?
Yes, I have.
And no regrets. No regrets at all. Well, love this picture. Love these photographs of all yours. When you look at these photographs, you say you dismiss them. Like it's nobody.
I tell you, I don't think about it. If you dwell in the past, that's ridiculous, isn't it? You can't have the past. I can't look like that anymore. I'm not like that anymore.
Right.
But so I enjoy what I've got today, which is
So,
wonderful. I'm
Audrey
very,
Totter, what really is Audrey Totter like today? A nice mother?
Grandmother.
You like to be that, loving and
Yeah,
grandmother.
sure, of
Well,
course.
that's so nice.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you today.
Thank
it's
you.
charming. You're a wonderful lady.
Thank you. It was very nice
Thank
to
you, dear.
be here.
God bless you.